So we should be live right now. Let me just check if everything is working correctly. 1 second. Hello, hello, hello. That seems to be working. Okay, let's just wait for potentially some people to show up. Let me just share it in Discord. Let me just share the link in the YouTube or in the Discord, sorry. To make it easy for people to join in. Can I share a link? Sure, I got a shareable link. Thank you. All right. Backtest trade renews didn't really remember that. So. All right. So share that. All right. Let me set this last thing up, or I can sort of view the chat. How do you do that again? It was like studio or something. It's not this. Oh yeah. Live control room. Yeah, I think this should be it. All right. So I think we're ready now. Welcome, welcome. If you're here, let me know. And yeah, we're in this amazing, beautiful trade right now. Yeah, it's not going too well. Like I already said in the Discord, market conditions are really weird at the moment. There's just been a lot of news. If I grab the news table, like as you can see, like Monday, Tuesday were fine, but then Wednesday at like big massive news events 2 times on the day. Then Thursday, yesterday, look at all those red folders, like everything. And then today there's nothing, but it's still sort of reacting to it. And of course there's like a war going on and stuff, right? So yeah, not ideal market conditions, let's be honest. Yo, what's up, Magic? Or Sap, I should say, Sap for Magic. I'm getting into your 1RR strategy and I'm wondering why are you taking every engulf? Don't you think it's that engulfing candle from key level would be better and give you more wins? Yeah, the strategy for sure is complementary to key levels and like EMAs and fair value gaps and all that sort of stuff. It will increase the win rate, but for the strategy, I just really wanted to make it as simple as possible. As you can imagine, there are like a lot of new traders out there that are just starting to get the hook of trading, you know, starting to really in their early phases of learning. And I think this strategy is like a really nice stepping stone into sort of understanding the core concepts of trading, and you can already start with it while being profitable. So you have like sort of a shortcut into profitability, because without like all that sort of stuff, like you're mentioning, like the key levels and stuff, the strategy is still profitable, but it's just not as profitable as if you would add stuff. So I think it's a really nice way for people to sort of start with it and then develop sort of their own little niche in it, where they like to, you know, add like the 50 EMA into it, or an EMA that they like, or they like supply and demand zones, or they like areas of interest, they're pretty similar, or fair value gaps, or all that sort of stuff. And they can potentially add it, and you can play around with the risk reward a little bit. So yeah, I just wanted, simple answer, I just wanted to keep it as simple as possible, and potentially like make it better over time, where I add some nuances and stuff to it. But yeah, that was basically the thought process. If you, you know, have you been playing around with key levels and stuff with it? Have you tried it? My coffee already got cold while setting up the stream. The market has just been so weird. I did buy an account just for this stream, so I can sort of do some fun stuff potentially, where I potentially do some scalps or whatever. But look at this market, man. It's like it's just massive moves. I imagine every USD pair is just going through the roof right now. And if so, how do you like it so far? Mm, 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 mm. I'm trying to combine it with MSNR, and I think it can be my edge in the markets. Nice, Malaysian SNR, right? I've I've delved into it a little bit ago. Really nice core concepts in it. I like it. Like it was eye-opening for me, where you basically, normally I draw areas of interest like this, right? Like, oh, nice, this area of interest, you know, nice little touches, something like this. But they draw it like just a line, right? Where it's just basically this is a key level, and then, well, there are not many touches here. Can we have any nice key levels here? Nah, the market just isn't as clean at the moment. But it was eye-opening to me that they basically draw the key levels very precise. Yes, because I can't catch crazy 1 to 20 moves with 10 pips stop losses. Yeah, bro, to be honest, if you look in the data of like prop firms, the 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 traders that are profitable are the ones that are trading like the bigger time frames, that are doing less trades overall, and their trades are like bigger stop losses, bigger TPs, like the swing traders. Basically, those are profitable most of the time, and the scalpers most of the time aren't. So any strategy that really involves around having really tight stop loss, etc., I would I would stay away from them. Also because trading is like 80% psychological. So with tight stop loss, etc., it will mean more trades, but also more losses, which will equal to like having more impact on your mental. Imagine like instead of doing like 5 trades a day or whatever, or like 4 or 3 or whatever, you just do 1 trade every day or every 2 days or whatever. You can imagine it being way less stressful on your mental. Um, and also probably the quality of the trades will go up. So whenever you have a strategy, and you're doing it like on the 5 minute, 15 minute or whatever, or even the 1 minute, you can potentially do it on the higher time frames, the similar strategy, and I imagine the signals will even be better and it will be less harmful to your mental. But like the strategy, yeah, combining SNR or SMNR, what's it? MSNR, with this, yeah, makes sense, bro. It can for sure work together. And if you just want to be profitable, I would suggest just stick to one thing. Like if you like this thread, just sticking to it. And indeed, you can add sort of stuff like the MSNR, but yeah, focus on the higher time frame threads like this one. That would be my yeah, my biggest advice. Like I've always traded the bigger time frames, or not always, but the longest time I've been trading the bigger time frames. And my best periods were when I was doing like 2 to 3 trades a week, and I was like getting payouts every week. Um, those were my best periods, to be honest. And yeah, I hear that a lot. It's just basically the chart can only go two ways, right? So um, all you really want to do and all you really need to do is just be aware of the bigger time frame trend and just basically hop on it. And you don't need a perfect entry. You don't need to be the one that calls like, you don't have to be precise with trading necessarily. All you need to do is be like aware of the bigger trends and just enter on it like at a fairly close. So like if you're looking for a bullish trend, just enter fairly close to like a higher low. All you need to do, like whenever there's a trend like this going on, you don't have to be the you don't have to be the guy that's, you don't have to do this. Oh nice, I have a 7R, you don't have to do that to be profitable. It will be higher impact on your mental because maybe you thought, oh, this is gonna be, this was the higher low, and then you get stopped out and it goes into your direction and you're just gonna be miserable. You're gonna be, oh shit, I got wigged out, whatever. And all you can do is wait for like an engulfing or whatever, or like a nice rejection, really signaling it to go up, and then you can sort of, with a fairly big stop loss, make sure that you don't get stopped out, go for like a nice 1 to 2 or 1 to 1 or whatever. And yeah, you don't have to be precise. um like like, to be honest, I'm also um gravitating towards a higher win to risk reward ratios from naturally. I'm just a risk taker overall. Um, but yeah, especially with having the kid, like my child now, my mental has just not been able to take as much as it used to, where because I'm more tired, right? So now I understand the necessity of, having a higher win rate opposed to having a higher risk to reward. Shall I call you Dits or shall I call you Pete, bro? But nice to see you, bro. How are you? Dits. All right, Dits. But yeah, thanks again for being there in the Discord, bro. Um, yeah, I'm doing good. Just this trade obviously is not going our direction, is it? Not really. So yeah, that's not ideal, and I'm just a little bit, you know, I really had positive expectations for this week basically, and then um, yeah, it's just been a weird week, to be honest. It's not the best trading conditions, so yeah, I'm a little bit on the yeah. I I would have preferred it to be like better conditions basically. But yeah, overall positive. Had a good night's sleep. My girlfriend and baby were sleeping at the grandparents, and they're still gone. So hence I can do like a nice little stream here. And soon the baby will go to the daycare on like the Fridays and the Thursdays, starting on Thursday or something. So then I can do like more regular streams because I really like doing the streams, and make more content and stuff. So excited for that. So good stuff in the future. Long story, but yeah, how are you doing, bro? Doing good? Yeah, I've never appreciated sleep more than now. Sleep is so good. I've purchased an account just for this occasion, just so I can do some fun stuff. So I think I'll enter here. It's a nice little area of interest. I actually want to do some scalping stuff because it's like more exciting, but I just noticed this. It's a nice area. We get our first little rejection, but yeah, I might just enter this. Just slice like nice EMA, nice area of interest. Yeah. Let's see. Yo, what's up, Afia? Nice to welcome. I'm doing good. How are you? Okay, sometimes price doesn't go up to the 50% engulfing fast. So when do you invalidate your engulf entry? Yeah, I've been playing around with that idea as well. I think Dits or Peter or uh, has also been like I think we've both been thinking about it a little bit. It's hard because let's say you're looking for if you were looking for this one, then of course you're not gonna like this one was also valid enough, so you would hire it to here, and then yeah, I think 2, 3 candles would be fine, maybe 4, but after that it might be a little bit much. Like that's the issue with our trade maybe. It's like pretty, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 candles. It's pretty far away, but I think it would also depend on how strong the candle is because this one is very strong. So it's just obvious that there would be some sort of reaction to it, like a pullback gravitating towards it, basically. Um, I think that would be probably the best answer. If it's not too strong, the initial candle, I would probably do it. Wait for like 1 to 2 candles max. If it's a bigger one, like a very strong one, you could probably go for like 3, 4 candles. But yeah, I'm still sort of figuring out some rules. Like I want to add some certain criteria, rules, and whatever. I want to keep it as simple as possible so you can trade like the regular thing, where it's just fine, you will be profitable. But I want to add some sort of nuances which will higher the win rate. But that requires like a lot of testing and a lot of. So I don't have necessarily like the best answer right now. But yeah, over time, I think we will have something like um, one sort of style where you have like a little bit higher risk reward ratio on it, where you can potentially, whenever certain conditions apply, you can go for instead of the stop loss here, you can go for like a stop loss at like the halfway mark, or we can add like the Fibonacci level of like I don't want to overcomplicate things, that's the issue. I need to add the other one. I don't want to overcomplicate things right away. So basically we can go for sort of like the stop loss right below the 0.36 level, 38 level at some point, whenever certain criteria apply, right? So yeah, but I just, for now, like I said, I wanted to keep this strategy as simple as possible. So um, yeah, that's basically it for now. But we're going to be playing around with the strategy, having some more precise rules. I just started trading it myself. I developed the strategy like 2 weeks ago or something. And I didn't really trade it myself a lot. It was a thought process, and I really want to make the video. I did some testing, and then Peter went all out with it, and basically opened my eyes. Was like, okay, yeah, I might need to sort of start trading this as well, because yeah, what I already said, I'm tired a lot, so I wanted something that's really simple. But yeah, I'm gonna complicate it a little bit over time, and so you can have like a higher win rate and play around with it a little bit more. Let's see. I'm good. New here. Just heard opinions, and if allowed, can even share my ideas. Of course, you can always share your ideas. I'm always. This is an open space where we just want to learn from each other, right? So yeah, let's. Yeah, all opinions are not all opinions, but you know, all sort of trading ideas and stuff. Just throw them out there, and we can just discuss and have like an open discussion. I think well, for me it's a passion. I can't speak for how much it's a passion for you guys, but trading is a passion of mine, and I just like talking about it and thinking about it and just coming up with ideas and stuff. So yeah, feel free to share your mind. So yeah, but yeah, Peter, what's your thoughts on the question of SEP for Magic? Doesn't go up to the 50% engulfing fast. So when do you invalidate your engulf entry? Because you've tested the strategy more than me. So what's your opinion on it? I'm a little bit. I think it shouldn't be too many candles, but yeah, what's the line, right? Like it depends on sort of the situation potentially, but yeah, maybe you have like a good answer for it. Market conditions aren't great at the moment, but hopefully we'll return back to normal soon. I agree. I can't wait. Yeah, I am validated when I see the next big impulsive candle, then move on to the next candle. So yeah, okay. Yeah, of course. So like this one, just basically to make your answer really simple, visual. Like if you were looking for this one, like for this candle, let me zoom in a little bit. You would invalidate this candle after having like a big impulsive move here. Then this would become your candle, so you would no longer look for a candle. But that answer again is also sort of it's a little bit subjective. That's the hard part about it, because this one is you could consider this fairly big, but yeah, it's not big compared to this one. So there are a little bit of nuances in there. So that's why we've tried to keep it like as simple as possible. Just to make it like really beginner friendly. Yeah, like let's see. We can go. Let's do a little bit of a back test, shall we? We can just go back in time and just go over it and see what everyone's opinion on it is. Let me remove all the drawings. I am not checking. Okay. Okay, I'm in short for NZD USD and GBP USD. They both have the same setup. Let me make a trading view link with my ID and process. All right, sounds good. Hey, I'm from the Discord community. Hey, I can recognize the name, Demolisher. Nice, welcome, bro. Peter has to be difficult with having a different YouTube name. He did. So you keep it simple. Huh? You keep it consistent. For me, I also have like different names all over the place. Yeah, it's very mechanical strategy, but that's the kind of thing that requires a little bit of discretion. Exactly. I don't know, bro. It's all good. It's all good. Let's. Yeah, we'll wait. We'll not wait, but Afia will see if she can share her sort of thing. So let's just go over a little bit of for back testing session, shall we? We're at the 13th of August 2024. We're getting a little rejection on usdjpy right now. Yeah. Would be nice if the 15-minute engulfs. That would be good. Still fighting. I don't like that the 5 minutes already surpassed the previous one. That's often not a good sign, but let's see. Whenever I see this sort of candle, often the next candle will fill the wick like this. Like we'll fill this wick. So let's hopefully I'm wrong. Alright, back to the... Okay, so this one would have been really nice, but would this... Yeah, this is already going back in time, but this would be a way too long trade. Like, how long is this? It starts on the 7th and it ends... Like, it doesn't even end on that week. It ends like here. Oh, it ends here. The 12th. That would be crazy long. That's also what I found, by the way. Dits or Peter. That's like, even for it being a 4-hour time frame strategy, the trades don't last too long. The best trades, to be honest, are the one where it's just literally the next candle, testing it and then going instantly in the direction. I think those signals are probably the strongest. Do you agree? I think the next candle is probably the strongest, and otherwise you're also in the position for very long. So maybe we should sort of add like, I don't know, maybe it doesn't make too much sense to wait for like maybe two candles max or something. But if yeah, there's so many nuances to it. Yeah, there's just so many nuances to it. There's no real right answer until it's all tested, you know, data driven. Are you trading on props or live accounts? I've been trading with prop firms most of the time. Sort of like a while back, whenever I was whenever it was going pretty like a lot better than now, let's so to speak. I was stacking up money from the payouts into a live account, but right now I've stopped trading live accounts and I'm like doing prop firms only again. The plan is basically to again from payouts scale it into a live account, because there are like tax benefits from trading with your own money, and also you can't really get a payout refuse, right, whenever trading with your own money. Yeah, exactly. When the next 4-hour retrace is back quickly, the kind of wicks into the 50%, they seem to be the best. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's what I've noticed as well. Those are the ones that I like the most, because you're also not in the trade all too long. Like, for instance, if you see this, maybe what I just noticed is I feel like trades like this happen often. And what I mean trades like this is where it's sort of, it's still bullish, 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 you know, like it's moving up, up, up. And then there's an engulfing of like basically rejecting the previous move. And then because it's sort of rejecting the previous move, there's a higher chance of price still sort of retracing. Like there's no, like basically how I draw this is like whenever price moving like this, whatever, like this, blah, 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 like moving consistently up, it doesn't make sense for it to go straight down, if that makes sense. Like this doesn't look normal to me, right? So, but what does look normal to me is whenever price going like this, blah, 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 going up, 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 breaking, and then sort of retesting, failing to sort of, you know, going up, like this would be the 4-hour candle basically, failing to close above it or even go above it, and then sort of testing the low again, because we had like a break of structure here. We had a break of structure, and then basically a little retracement is very logical. And I feel like candles like this, like maybe in the line chart it would be better to show it. Like candles like this are the equivalent of that, where basically it's like it's going up, 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 break of structure, and we will have like a nice little retest of this sort of, you know, the break of structure basically of the, you know, this potentially like also testing the neckline, as you can see here. It's testing like the bottom of the previous candle. But yeah, this makes, I think this happens very often. Basically, that's what I want to say. I think this happens very often, whereas like just this one, for instance, it happens less often because it's like it's not really breaking bearish structure. It's just like it's already going bullish, 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 and then the next candle to test the 50% and then to go up. It does happen, but I find it less, like happen less basically. It doesn't happen as often. Well, if it's breaking structure, like a strong, really strong bearish break of structure, then there's a bigger chance of it actually sort of retesting it in the next candle and then going down. So maybe that's some rule that could be added. Let me make a note of that because I actually want to test that. Yeah, right. I think that's because basically here you would be following sort of a really fast big move, and there's not a big chance, well, the chance is smaller of it actually sort of retesting. Well, it's actually near sort of the structure, and there's already like structure right next to it with like this candle. Basically, there's structure right next to it here. Like, so there's a bigger chance of the price action like following will also sort of test that structure next to it. With this one, there's no real structure to the left of it. So it's like a little bit, I don't know, it's like in no man's land basically. So there's like, I don't know, just thought process. I'll note it down, and let me just get a keypad or whatever. No, I'll do it here. Not new folder, just new. Alright, so I just noted it down. I wish I worked that sort of thing out when I did my back testing, like sort of candles high. Yeah, I understand, but it's logical that you didn't. You were like testing the strategy as is, right? And that's a super valid point to do. So yeah, like I think we have like a nice little solid strategy on our hands that is profitable no matter sort of really how like the nuances you do. But I think we can add some nuances to sort of increase the win rate and potentially also, you know, higher risk reward. But that's like that's even a step further. But you know, higher win rate is probably can be achieved a little bit easier. Or like a qualification, yeah, basically just a qualification of if you should enter or not. Yeah, exactly. That's the most important thing, just having a positive strategy. And now it's basically just dotting the i's, fine-tuning it, you know. It's that's a good spot to be in. Nice. I was wrong about this candle. That's good. I like to be wrong whenever it's in my favor, so that's nice. 15-minute did engulf, so that's good. 30-minute, nice little rejection candlestick. Yeah, liking it. Ideally, we want the 4-hour to close below the 50 EMA, and then we're pretty solid, I would say. Like as you can see, like right, like if we look all the way back, only here it closed above or under the, well, under here, the 50 EMA. All the time before, whenever it got close, it just, you know, all the time it failed. Here it failed as well. And then one time it broke under. So now it's sort of, in my vision, it's sort of retesting it. And then I think there's a high probability of it actually failing and going down. Because as you can see, the times it's actually sort of surpassing it. The last time it happened is on the 23rd of February. So that's like literally almost a month ago. So yeah, just a side note. I think the 50 EMA on the 4 hour is really, really strong. But yeah, the market conditions right now are just not ideal. Yeah, bro, the 50 EMA, highly recommend it. It's just super strong. Like, also, like, you know me about the simple strategies and stuff. I think if you only sort of trade the 50 EMA, you're also profitable. But it's just about like how would you do it. But if you just simply follow it, you know, whenever it's sort of having a line, like basically whenever it's sort of going up a certain how do you say it, like steep or whatever, you could basically just enter, or whenever it's near it, you could just enter it, and yeah, a lot of times you're profitable with it. Like here, for instance, it's fairly close, right? Like whenever it's sort of within how many pips, whatever, 100 pips or something, or whatever micro pips, and you do your stop loss like a little bit below it, like this. Well, as you can see, it's like a crazy return here, 10x potentially. But yeah, if you do the same one here, you enter here, same result, right? And then this one, you entered here, again, also a win, but not, of course, not with 10R, but yeah, you get what I mean, right? All right, where were we? We were here, and we haven't really done a lot of testing. So this one, how would you like this one? For me, I like the context of it already having a rejection once and then it's having a rejection twice. So for me, there's a pretty big chance that price will actually really dump from this, like really go down like all the way to here. But of course we're not, and also it's on the 50 EMA. You know, nice little rejection of the 50 EMA on the usdjpy. Similar story here, different pair, similar story. Or wait, same pair, but different time. Well, here it did close really, like here it didn't really, but here it was super flat anyway. But whenever it's sort of strong, like whenever there's like a strong trend, like here, test fails, and what happens is like insanely strong sort of rejection from it. That's why I love the 50 EMA, and I highly recommend everyone to sort of, you know, add it to your trading vocabulary, basically. I will make for sure a thread about the 50 EMA at some point, but yeah, that's just a whole different cookie, huh? But yeah, you see the point of it being like an extra nice little confluence. It's for sure super strong. So, but yeah, back to my question. This candle, right? It did engulf this one, but it didn't engulf this one. For it to be super strong, how you can sort of interpret it, this sort of candle is like it's bearish. Of course, it's bearish, it's engulfed, but in a way, there are multiple layers to a candle where if it's like it sort of rejected this low as well, right? Like it's tried to close under, it failed. So in a way, this candle is also like could also be interpreted, if you look through a different lens, you could also interpret this candle as like a bullish candle in a way. So I'm a little bit iffy about this. Also, I'm gonna note this down. Also, rules about sort of how close the body closure may be towards the 50% level, because here it's super close, right? Which means the wick of the candle is just almost as big as the body. And I'm not sure how, like, yeah, I think it's good if the body is a little bit stronger. Body versus wick ratio, basically. So, but for testing's sake, let's enter it. I do like the 50 EMA. Let's just do it like this. And I would be, my core screams to be super greedy and place a stop like the TP here, but yeah, we're doing the 1 RR thread, right? So, and it didn't tap us in, but it was a nice little move. Yeah, all right, very close. Yeah, not getting tapped in. But yeah, this candle would, like, I would like it for this candle. More so than the candle we just looked for, because this candle actually really close below the structure. Its body is a lot stronger. So yeah, for the, like, I personally like this candle more than the previous one. Like this, a little bit above. 1.2. Uh-oh. Well, this is good. And also what I've noticed, like I'm rambling about a lot of stuff. A lot of times 2 candles are fine, and then the 3rd candle is most of the time is bearish. Yeah, like this. So that's a nice little W. For instance, would you look for a trade on this one, Dits or Peter? Because it did engulf, but actually you can't even really look for it. Yeah. Likewise, I wouldn't either, because you're already below the level, but just wanted to see your thoughts. This one also not. Yeah, so this one you also wouldn't look for, right? Like, I would personally not like it because it failed to close under here. If it would have closed under here, it was fine. Like, the wick was a little less, body was stronger. Unless it closes. Yeah. All right, so we agree on that. This one, it did close above. It's a nice little, I think this one qualifies the same as like I talked about with this one. Preferably we would like it to have like a little bit bigger impact, but I think these are the sort of the candles I talked about where there's a bigger chance of it sort of retesting and sort of going up, if that makes sense. Would you look for it on this candle? It could be stronger, but it did engulf, which is the most important thing. Yeah. I'm curious on how this performs. I think these could be potentially the candles that are, like, at least have the highest chance of actually being a trade, if that makes sense. Like, the chance of it actually retesting is a lot stronger than, for instance, on like a massive drop down. Yeah, so we would be in and it would be a win. Okay. So that's one for the break of structure one. What the fuck is this? Okay. Yeah. This one is again like this one, right? For me. Yeah. I'm a little bit iffy on these. They're super strong, but I mean, it actually sort of retracing this far is also a pretty bearish signal, but I like it in combination with this sort of structure being here. So like chances of it all the way going down are just fairly low. So I think win rate wise, this would be fairly high, but just entering the trade wise, I'm not sure how often you would actually enter this trade. I think often it will leave without you. Let's see what happens, right? It's like a 1K or like 100 pips move. So yeah, I'm not sure if would you still be looking for it? Like at this point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles. I mean, it is a super strong candle, and like right now, it's testing the area, it's testing the EMA. Like for me personally, without the 50% strat, I would be looking for an entry near the EMA and near this area. So for me, I would be interested in moves like this, where it is right now. Then I would go to the lower time frame. I don't like the 15 minutes, okay, but so we would be in, we are in with the 50%, but I'm just looking for, let's see how I would enter on like my regular sort of. All right, like we have a nice little engulfing, which is nice. Then I would like a little test of this area, and then I would enter. So if it would, ideally, and then I would place it below here. Targets above, like on the area, like something like this. I would probably enter now because it's like an engulfing. So then I would enter like this. Something like this. And I'm stopped out. But the 50% one is still in. Remove this for now. Yeah, we're out. So this, if we go to the, let's go to the daily time frame and see how it looks there. Just, yeah, I don't know if we should add like a sort of bigger time frame sort of confluence to it, because like it's a super bearish market, like ever since the 11th of July all the way to 6th of August. Like it's already almost a month of very bearish structure. Alright, but let's just count this as a loss, right? Like we did lose it. So this one would qualify again. So we would be looking for sells here. Okay. I think we could consider this being tapped in. I always like to place my my entry a little bit under the 50% level. I also like it whenever like the 1.2 is already sort of reached, so there's less barrier for it to be reached basically. All right, so nice W. Yeah, and then we have this one on our hands. Would you look for this one? I think it's strong enough. It's close below the structure. I think I would probably look for it. Yeah, you as well. Let me zoom in a bit, make it a little bit. This is where like the 1.2 is a little bit more risky in my opinion, because it hasn't been, well, here it's still, well, here it sort of still is, but it was a little bit lower than not. This one can be a little bit tighter. This one can be a little bit. what's the 50% confluence you adding to the mix? We haven't necessarily added it yet, but I have sort of shown right now the strength of the 50 EMA. So if the 50 EMA is in your favor, then yeah, it just increases the chances of the win rate for sure. Like for this, for instance here, win rate 100% is higher, just because the 50 EMA is sort of blocking it to reach the stop loss basically. So I would consider this sort of whenever there's like whenever you're looking for a sell and the 50 EMA is within sort of your area, um, and it's also going down, yeah, I think the win rate would increase a lot. So like this is a perfect example of having a higher win rate with 50 EMA. I would pretty much hold my hand in fire to this being the case. Like I obviously haven't tested it, but I've traded with the 50 EMA for about 2 years now, and it's just a super strong tool. For instance, here it doesn't really affect this trade necessarily, the 50 EMA, of course. So yeah, here it really isn't a confluence. There's so many. It's trading is so fun in a way because there are so many aspects to it. I don't know if you were the one that's talked about it being a magnet, but someone talked about the 50 EMA being a magnet, or some yeah, he talked about the EMA being a magnet, which I think sort of is true in a way where I think price will um like as soon as price is very far away of an EMA, I think at some point it will sort of retrace and then it can go down like a lot, if that makes sense. Because trends never really, it's basically just a trend going for like a lower high. No trend is going like this, and also not like this. Like no trend is going like this, at some point it's going closer to sort of the previous without sort of breaking it, but so it's logic that the EMA sometimes it just gravitates towards it. Come on, with the EMA, do you change the length to 50? Yeah, these are the settings. Length 50, source close, method EMA, smoothing didn't touch. I think it's just set on 7. I don't think this really matters, to be honest. Yeah. No, it's not a magnet. It might feel like one, but in reality it's a lagging indicator. Yeah, of course. But I think it is a strong sort of it's yeah. I agree with it feeling like a magnet because it's often tested and it goes down or whenever it's under it, right? So it feels like sort of that being sort of the final barrier of so like a magnet and then it goes down. But yeah, of course, it's a lagging indicator for sure. And like I said, it's just basically the result of markets just creating, the lower highs. Basically, that's why it's reaching the EMA at some point, and um, trends basically not always going in the same strength like this. Sometimes a trend's just going a little bit more like this, and then it will reach the EMA because the EMA will flatten, and then it sort of bounces off often. You're welcome, bro. All right, so let's see how this trade would play out. All right, so here I would still be interested because I like the sort of movement towards it. It's good. It's not too bullish, if that makes sense. All right. I think we got stopped out. Massive wick here. probably news or something going on. I think this probably like in a 5-minute candle or something. Yeah, it's highly, this is news for sure. It's a massive news spike. It's probably in even, I can't see the 1 minute, but I imagine it even being in like 1 minute. So yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate. So we wouldn't look for it on this candle. This one neither. Neither. Personally, I'm a little bit iffy on this one. I like it and I don't like it. I like it because there's a high chance of it actually retracing and potentially reaching it. I don't like it because the structure is bearish. What are your thoughts? Uh, oh, I said about this one, I'm a little bit iffy. Like I like it for certain reason and I don't like it. I like it because it sort of really sort of rejected this candle, basically really nice engulfing. I like it because there's a bigger chance of it actually retracing to the 50% level and going up. I don't like it because the structure is overall bearish. Yeah. And when it comes to news, yeah, I'm a little bit on the fence on news as well. Sometimes news is just what you need in your trade, where you just like it pushes it towards the TP faster. But it's also sometimes like a Russian roulette where it can just stop you, wick you out, and then go towards your like what it did here, basically, right? So it's such a gamble, and I'm not 100% sure if it's net positive or net negative to sort of not trade news. Um, I haven't tested that enough, but yeah. So I don't necessarily have the answer. To be honest, I don't like news in a way. Like I prefer there being no news and just clean market structure. Yeah. Would you say it would just reduce expectancy? Mm, yeah. I don't necessarily know, to be honest. I think it's just a higher chance of it reaching your TP or stop loss fast. And it's a little bit of a, because if news is not in your favor, you're screwed. But basically, how I view news is that news follows technicals in a way. Like often, whatever you see in the chart, um, sort of it projects what news is gonna do, basically, right? So often it makes sense. Whenever news is negative, you see already the market being conditioned into the potential, like having a bearish move, basically. Um, so I don't think necessarily that I don't think there's a net negative to trading through news, but it's in that way. I don't think it necessarily means you're gonna lose more trades than win. Um, but I do think it adds sort of you know, it's a little bit more Russian roulette in a way. Um, but overall, if you do it enough times, I think it doesn't really matter in the bigger picture. But trade per trade, I think it's just yeah, it's yeah. Well, in the trade itself, it feels a little bit like Russian roulette, basically. Um, but yeah, I do like this one for certain reasons. So let's just see how this one goes. I prefer it to be in line with the bigger trends, that's just a thing, but all right. I would take this one away right now because I think this one is too bullish to sort of, and I don't think this one qualifies because the wick is too big. This one doesn't qualify. This one does. Again, 50 EMA. You see it? Like on the dot. It's such a strong tool. Every time I look at the EMA, bro, I'm like surprised at how strong it is. Like, you just enter like close to the EMA. Close to EMA, like this. Doesn't have to be perfect, of course. And stop loss a little bit above it. 6 RR. Or this potentially even bigger, but I don't know where you're necessarily going for. Potentially you're going for this structure to the left, so you would probably place it like here. 6.5. This one similar, close to EMA. Stop loss above it, targeting the structure here. Again, 6.5 RR. This one you entered here. Stop loss above it. Again, structure here, 6.5 RR. What the fuck? Maybe I should trade the EMA. Nah, but it's always like this whenever you see like ideal conditions. But yeah, the EMA being strong, that's a certainty. But we were going for our nice little one-to-ones, so let's just focus on that. Or 1.2, I should say. Let's not invalidate our nice little profit margin. I think here would like 1 RR would probably be better because the 1.2 hasn't been reached yet and the 1 has, so there's a bigger chance of it actually sort of reaching the 1 than the 1 to 2. But let's just do the 1 to 2 for experience sake. Yeah, it's gone without us. Massive move, by the way, from the 50 EMA again. I do want it to be a little bit more in this area before looking for trades again. I think this one would potentially qualify. Look, the EMA is being rejected at the moment, which is nice in our current trade. Yeah, have faith in the 50 EMA, bro. Have faith. It's not yet there, so I can't really speak yet, but the chances of this being a rejection candle are just very high. And also it's retesting this sort of little structure-ish, you know, if you look at it, there are quite a few candles here that's like rejecting like all this sort of area. My chart's getting a little bit messy. Let me remove this. Let me remove this. And this. Alright, so it's a little bit cleaner. I took some nice trades here, didn't I? Fuck's sake. Well, this one for different reasons. Trading the strategy is not easy as you will have to see large drawdowns. Well, Ahmed, it's all about, you know, if you trade with risk that you're really okay with risking, basically, and it can be 0.5% or 1%, or it can be real money, like whatever is okay for you. Then like drawdowns, they do affect you a little bit, but not too much in a way. So if if the drawdown is affecting your psychological is affecting you psychologically, then I would advise you to rethink your risk, what you're taking on your trades, because yeah, and also, but what you're saying, Dits and Peter, is like yeah, that's a separate factor to it. I like to go into the technicals of the trade. I agree with it not having too much drawdown overall normally, or often, let's so to speak. But even if it has drawdown, you should be completely fine with every trade that you're taking and the risk you're taking. Yeah, Ahmed, with this one, there was drawdown, of course. We were very close to our stop loss. So I agree with this trade specifically being very close, you know, having high drawdown, that's for sure. But overall, the drawdown on this strategy is not too big, in my opinion. Like, I've traded strategies with higher risk rewards. Let's just whatever example. I've traded strategies, for instance, where I go like this, and then your stop loss is right below the candle, you know, and then the drawdown here with this trade is also very big, right? Oh, nice, meme-tastic. We have some people in the same trade, which is good, fun. Welcome, by the way. So here it would also be high drawdown, right? Like risk wise, but like your whole issue, your overall overlapping issue is basically the risk, the risk, the risk aspect to it. That's how I view it. Like if it's affecting you psychologically, then reevaluate how much you risk and sort of you need to find that sweet spot in a way. Okay, what's the risk you recommend for 100k prop account on this strategy? Again, it depends on how much money it was for you to purchase the account. Like if you can easily like buy a new account if you lose it, so, and also it doesn't feel as sort of stressful whenever you lose, let's say, a percentage, I would be saying risking 1.5% per trade is completely fine. But if you sort of prefer to take the account a little bit slower, if you feel a little bit more stressed about like having a higher risk percentage, then I would go for 0.5%, for instance. I'm risking 0.5% on my 100k account, basically, because I feel most comfortable with risking that. If I have sort of, if I were so to pass the 100k account and I would get a payout and I would sort of buy myself another 100k account, I would risk 1% on that one because it wouldn't feel as, you know, as impactful. I want to pass that one faster, if that makes sense. So it's really up to your current financial situation and your current sort of trading, where you're at in your trading journey, basically. I'm currently doing the challenge on it, so I'm risking 0.5% on the challenge. I'm just taking it very slow. Back when I was sort of having like multiple funded accounts and stuff, I was risking like a little bit more. I was risking up to 2% per challenge, and I was per trade on challenges, and risking one-ish percent, sometimes even more on funded accounts. So it's really depends on where you're at, in my opinion. Yeah, but if you followed my videos, you know that I've been yeah, I've became a dad a while back, and my trading hasn't really been the same since. So I've been sort of you know, recalibrating, basically starting a little bit from, in a way, from scratch again, just because I've been tired so often, and it's just been a little bit of a struggle. But yeah, that's I guess I've been very lucky to be profitable really fast. Like I've been trading for over 2 years and been profitable every month for like over 1.5 years out of that. So yeah, it's fine to have like a little bit of a rougher period. Which prop firm are you using? I prefer, like I've been trading mostly with Equity Edge. They're very cheap. They do pay out, but it's just a matter of following the rules, you know. They have also denied a lot of payouts and denied a lot of accounts, but that's because I traded during news, or I spammed the order book, which was like a weird thing, which I really liked, to open multiple positions of the same trade where I could sort of scale out of the, yeah, yeah, I've taken a lot of payouts from them. Yeah, I've taken a lot of payouts from them. I think I've taken like 50 payouts from them or something. Um, I'm just, all right. Can I show this? I think I can show this. This is fine. Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. This is just a list of payouts I got from them. And this is like, it goes back 4 pages. No, I've been doing the 100K challenge with ftmo. If you want to buy one, let me know. I'll share you my affiliate link. It's always like nice for me. But yeah, I'm trading with ftmo, the 100K challenge, and I tend to do the smaller cap challenges with Equity Edge. Eval 0.1% masters, 0.50% best way. Nice, bro. I think it's actually in the video description. But I can also share it. Let me see. Very much appreciated. If you're gonna buy challenge anyway, it's very helpful if you use it through my link. Can I send it here? Amazing, bro. Thank you. And meme-tastic. I don't know if you're still here, but amazing, bro. Would be great. Do you prefer me to call you Dits or Peter? Because like I'm currently like on the keep switching, keep saying both. Dus if you really prefer me saying Dits, that's fine. Also, I'll call you Dits here. All right, Dits. All right. Yeah. Thank you, Dits. um, but let's see. Meme-tastic. I didn't respond yet to your sort of question. 0.1% master, 0.50% best way. So what's the risk? Like you risk 0.1% on, or 1% on I think you mean 1% on eval and then 0.5% on masters, right? All right. But yeah, this is not for me showing up or something. This is just they're not too big amounts anyway, but it's just showing that they do pay out basically. Nice rejection of our trade. That's good. And yeah, thank you again, Ahmed. If you would use my link, it's very much appreciated. Same goes for dit. Thank you so much. Obviously, I'm not making any money yet with YouTube and stuff. So, I mean, the affiliate stuff is would be very fun to sort of see if I can, you know, get some money from it. And yeah, because ftmo doesn't really do discounts. So if they were to have discounts, like for instance with Equity Edge, I do have a discount code where I can share like 20% or 25%. But whenever you go in their Discord, they often share links with 50% discount. So I just send my viewers to their Discord and just use the better discount, right? Like I prefer my sort of viewers to have the best prices possible over me getting money from it, you know? Money is secondary to you guys having like nice the best deals basically. But with ftmo they don't really do discounts, so might as well do it through my link. That's very much appreciated. Wait, I'm doing this the wrong way. Like this. Oi, oi, oi. That's a nice one, huh? Ahmed, if you're still here, this is just a sort of yeah, this is like an example of not having too much drawdown often as well. Like, of course, sometimes you go into drawdown, but very often with this stretch, you also have like barely any drawdown. I would say more often than not, if you win a trade, you have very little drawdown. This one is also a weird one because it has such a wick, but a strong body. Would you look for it on this one? Dit. I'm a little bit on the fence because it's very close to sort of the low of the body, if that makes sense. I think you would probably look for it because it's a very strong candle. I'm from Holland, the Netherlands. You? I do sometimes, a bit 50-50. Yeah, I agree. And also, if you probably look where we are at in the chart right now, right? It's probably near the 50% level of the complete move. This complete move, we're close to the 50% level of it. So yeah, there's also a big chance of it actually sort of, you know, going down from here. So if you take that into context, me, I'm not sure. Moscow. Um, nice. Is it like for me? I instantly think of cold. Like how? What's the weather there now? Like is it because it's starting to become warmer here? Like what's the temperature there? I think Moscow would be great for like trading, right? Because you're gonna be inside a lot and just like just I don't know if it's true, but maybe you're like used to cold and it's like not even like yeah. Tell me about it, please. How is it for you? Or isn't it even cold? Like I have no clue. Let me check. Oh no, it's not too cold. Ah, it's not too cold. All right. For some reason, I thought of it being very cold. Yeah, it's cold. All right. Right now it's okay, right? It's 7 degrees. Yeah, it's not too warm, but I mean, it can be a lot colder, right? Um, thank you guys, by the way, for just being here and just chatting. When I was first started with this channel and stuff, I sometimes did a stream, and it was just like me talking to myself like for 90% of the fucking stream, right? So I was like hoping, like with being grown as a channel a little bit, I was like hoping, oh, let's hopefully get some interaction, right? Because then it's a lot more fun. Then live streaming becomes fun. Before it doesn't really, like, it's not really fun. So yeah, thank you guys for just being here, you know. I appreciate it, and being interactive and stuff. Um, yeah, but still not in minus. Yeah, exactly. I I, I don't really like um, cold weather too much, to be honest. Um, I want to test, like, is it time to test like higher win rate, or like higher, like having a tighter stop loss or something? I want to sort of start testing it a little bit, but because if we just go back through the charts here, want to get some more data. Okay, starting to see some things, but let's just go through here, and then I can manually adjust and see what the win rate and stuff will be. Arabu, hey, welcome, bro. Welcome back. I remember you from the comments, I'm pretty sure. Do you only trade uh, usdjpy? Not really, to be honest, but for some reason I've been like the 50% strat and the 15-minute strat. Both have been on usdjpy. I think I just like it because it's like a little bit faster. Yeah, the moves, it's like a for this system it suits it pretty well, because it's like a very trend based pair with like a lot of movement and volume. um so yeah, I just seem to gravitate towards it a little bit, but overall answer, no, I do trade other stuff as well. By the way, what happened to the trade I was looking for? GBUSD or something didn't end up entering. Yeah, okay. Remember that I was looking for this, potentially enter on my other account that I just bought. I didn't enter, but yeah, it's going up. Yeah. Okay, that's like lately my strategy, my regular strategy hasn't really been working, so I've been on the fence of it. But with me doing this stream, I just purchased an account to, just to do some fun stuff, potentially like to do some scalps or some other trades. And I saw this trade, and I want to enter, but then I had so many fun questions and stuff and interactions that I didn't enter, um, because I saw this EMA, nice little area, and yeah, watch it go to TP right now. That would be amazing. But let's just focus on the positive. Where's our trade? Yeah, we're almost back at break even. The 50 EMA has been fully well respected, which is amazing. So hopefully we can get a nice little W together. How's your trading been, Arubu? Have you been trading the strategy, or have you been trading something else? Or let me know. Oof. Okay. Not getting tapped in, sadly. And right now we've definitely hit the 50% mark, but yeah, let's just be aware of it and not sort of act upon it, but we can sort of look at it through hindsight and see, okay, maybe we shouldn't trade next time. This is all about learning with this backtest, just to see what works and what not. So yeah, we would be interested in going for this one, of course. Also, what I want to point out is, like, with this big bearish move, right? with this massive move, there's a projection, like it's pretty obvious that it would sort of at least go to the halfway mark, right? Like at least. Um, you don't know when, of course. That's the hard part, but you do know that it will happen. Basically, you can pretty much guarantee that it will go towards this little area, 50% level of this entire move. You pretty much can guarantee it, right? It's nothing is guaranteed with trading, but there's just a high probability. So whenever you get a setup here, you could potentially look for a little bit of a bigger RR, to be honest. Like at least two. Just a thought process. But if I were to be in this trade, I would potentially look for a little bit bigger RR, just because I know that it's most likely going to gravitate towards this structure. Right now, there's a big chance of it actually going down, or at least like not surpassing the EMA. So I would be more keen in shorts than longs here. Yeah. Side note. And wait, what's going on? Why am I... Wait, there seems to be a delay. One sec. Oh no, never mind. What the fuck? On my screen it's like delayed, but the live stream itself doesn't seem to be delayed. But yeah, like I said, on this area, you would be looking for sells, would be better. Just a strong area, 50% level. I've been using this strategy on Euro USD on one of my accounts and on GBP USD on the other. How's it been? Has it been going well? I think this one, like this candle is perfect for the strategy. Again, because it's like the break of structure. And I think you could easily go for 2x here. Oh, yeah, yeah, you already mentioned, I think. 2 wins, 1 losses. You mentioned it in the comments, didn't you? Nice. Um, yeah. I I understand it because it's like a little bit of it add nuance to it, and that will, make the results. It's also more stressful because then you have to make an extra decision, and you also don't know necessarily what it does to the win rate exactly, and like the overall performance, return on investment, to be honest. But yeah, for instance, just having the regular risk reward ratio is fine, but I would imagine, like, so for instance, this just being whatever 1 to 2 is fine. But just being aware of the overall market and not taking this trade, like adding the nuance of it being, oh, we're at an area of interest, we're at the 50% level of the massive move here, or very close to it at least. Um, let's just sit on our hands on this candle, basically. I think that would be the easiest, nuance to make instead of having a bigger R. And it would save, like, I mean, you know? Are you in a trade right now? Yeah, we're in the usdjpy one, the short here. Daily time frame is looking very clean. Yeah. So we're in this short right now. We're in a little bit of drawdown. We were like in very big drawdown. I don't like this rejection candle. Stop it, please. Yeah, I'm not really looking at the trade at the moment. But yeah, we're in this one. Yeah, maybe I will carry on as I am for a bit, then experiment with what I gain a bit more confident. Would you backtest it first or do you do it live? I'm not like I'm not really a backtesting kind of guy. I do like it during this sort of streams because it's just interactive and you have something to do basically all the time, and it's also it is beneficial. But on my own, I backtest sometimes just to test, like, for instance, whenever I came up with a strategy, I just test a little bit to sort of confirm my suspicions. But I've always been in life as general, I'm very logical where I just think it makes sense. And then I just want a little bit of validation. And then I'm just like, yeah, I know it's like, if I was invalidated, then I would potentially test more until I'm completely invalidated. Like whenever I know, okay, it's 100% not actually what I think, or I just continue until I actually, okay, wait, this was just a little bit of, you know, an how do you say it? Um, I can't come up with the word, but with a small little chance of it was just coincidence basically. Um, and then I'll test it a little bit more. But with this strategy, I was instantly validated that it was profitable. So I was like, okay, no really needs to test it any further, and I can just go into the live markets and I'll sort of learn through there. Basically, I just traded a little bit too long live to sort of really do a lot of back testing, if that makes sense. It's just I don't know. I guess you're never too late to backtest, but for me, it's just a little bit boring. Um, so yeah, it does cost me in the results because I'm testing live, basically. So I'm aware of it not being the best choice necessarily. Um, but yeah, it just, I like it. And also, it goes back to me only risking amounts that I'm okay with risking. So I don't really mind losing while I'm trading live, basically. Doesn't the trade cancel if there's a cancel close outside the fib before it hits your entry? Um, Not necessarily. Um, if it's like if it's a big candle, then yes. For instance, this one, yes, because this would be the fib level. This would be the fib level. A big candle closure below it doesn't really make sense to wait for it to retrace to this one. But if there's like a small closure, like very close, I wouldn't necessarily really mind. But we are seeing, I think, that there's the biggest chances of it being a nice trade is whenever it's pretty close to your sort of original candle. Okay, so Doji, love it. Let me just, for my sake, whatever. Eh. Let's stop that. All right, another one. Why do I want it? Oh, this would actually qualify. By the way, I'm just completely obsessed with my doji at the moment. But would this qualify? I think so, right? And this would have been a win on the 1.2. I think this would be fine. I think this one will be, yeah, like I said, 2 candles, and then most of the time the next one is the opposite direction. Another doji, and gone. Doesn't seem to like dojis, does it? So this one would also qualify, no? It's a little bit hindsight because I was a little bit obsessed with my doji. But this one did engulf. Nice little candle. I guess the doji needs to be smaller. This one, I want the wick here up, like the top wick to be smaller. Here, this isn't really even a nice little doji. This one is, but both wicks are pretty big as well. Just to know, I entered eurusd the opposite. Oh, got liquidated. Oh shit. You entered. Oh, this one. Yeah. I'm guessing you entered this one, right? Yeah, to be honest, it's the same direction as us because it's like flipped eurusd, usdjpy. So we're looking for shorts, you're looking for buy. It's the same direction, but I like to have my stop loss a little bit below the candle. So maybe you wouldn't have been stopped out. I like to place like a little bit below. So like here, for instance, here I would have probably placed it. Maybe still with spreads, maybe it would have been stopped out. But yeah, I like to have it a little bit below. But yeah, this is just unfortunate, bro. It's yeah, a wick out basically. We can still very much lose trade, but yeah, we're lucky to still be in it. Yeah, did test 1 to 2 or 1.2 to 1 RR, and the test showed that that was more profitable. So I do like it depending on the trade. With this one, for instance, like the 1 RR is fine, but since there's already structure below it and it's like already been tapped in, I think like the biggest, there's a high chance of it. If it's going down, there's a high chance of it actually testing these lows. So for me, the 1 to 2 make 1.2 makes a lot of sense. Even 1 to 5 is completely fine with this specific trade, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm just sticking to the 1.2 just to, you know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's better 1 to 2 because you have liquidity below. Exactly. Um, and yeah, like Dit's just saying, it's a lot more profitable with 1 to 2, 1.2. Um, all right. Do like this candle because it closed actually above the EMA and above the EMA and above the area of interest. Here, for instance, a 1 to 1 might be sort of, you know, a little bit better. So I've been doing 1.2 the whole time. So let's just see how the 1.2 does. All right, so we're tapped in. Projection candle, no, not strong enough. Nice. Another W. I was confused about managing my risk with this strategy. I don't know how many trades I should take a day, etc. How do you manage it yourself? To be honest, this isn't really a strategy where you will have like multiple trades a day. Like you can do, and I have done, but basically, a lot of pairs are sort of working together or like similar, right? Like the Euro USD one that you took is basically the same as the usdjpy one that we took, but it's not this one. It would fucking hit my TP as well. But it's very similar, right? Like these two are very similar. It's just basically a mirror. So entering both, yeah, you can do, but I don't know. It just depends on like, are you okay with risking a little bit more? Um, or you could halve the risk on both and go for both. Or you could have your same risk and do both. But it's basically the same trade that you're going for. So if you would lose that one, so to speak, you basically have to make up for it with two other trades. So it's just a conscious decision that you kind of need to make. But I do like it in a way because sometimes you don't get tapped in on one, and then on the other one you can get tapped in. So um, yeah, it's a list. Do you get what I mean? Like I'm not 100% sure about it. What I think the strategy probably is best just focusing on the strongest one. So these two, for instance, Euro USD and usdjpy, just choose your strongest one, the one that you like the most, and probably go for that one and potentially risk a little bit more as if you would take two trades basically. If you're okay with risking that amount, of course. By the way, I should probably say no financial advice is in the description or whatever. Do your own research on everything. But yeah, I think that's probably the way I would go personally about it. Any thoughts? Let me know. Because it's like a 4 hour strat, and I've also been playing around with testing it on a 1 hour. I think it would probably work. I would be I would be how to say it. I would be confused if it doesn't work on any time frame on any pair. To be honest, I think on every time frame, any pair, it should be profitable. But I think the profitability varies, and I think the higher time frame, the better profitability. Um, but I would be overall surprised if it isn't profitable on every time frame, every pair. Um, but yeah, I can't put my hand in fire, so to speak. But I would be surprised basically. So if you prefer to take more trades a day and if your mental is okay with it, I think the best bet would probably be go for a lower time frame. Because the 4 hour time frame, most pairs will be correlated, and to have multiple signals in one day is pretty unlikely, or at least multiple active trades a day is unlikely that you will get tapped in. Um, I think two is like probably max, isn't it? That's probably two a day. I think three would be like crazy day. It's possible, to be honest, on like if you have the morning, yeah, it is possible, but that would be basically it's basically like you would have like a day where it's basically going like this, but then with like small little in between lower time frame taps. But um like where was it this day or something? Which were we testing? Here we were testing. Basically, you would have a day like this. So yesterday you might, let's see. Yesterday you wouldn't get tapped in, you wouldn't get tapped in, you wouldn't get tapped in. So non-trades taken yesterday. Because you would need like a massive move basically in order to have like every candle being a valid candle and actually sort of, giving you a signal. So yeah, I think two trades max is probably, yeah, maybe there are days that are going to be Dree where it, like every candle wicks a little bit into it and then goes down, and then you know, it can happen, but it's just not very likely. So if you want more trades, basically I would suggest testing lower time frames. I agree and sort of not necessarily disagree, but um, I think the strategy is, are you already setting sort of limit orders? Because with this strategy, it's the first time I'm actually setting sort of predetermined limit orders, which really reduces the time you need to be behind the chart. So that makes it possible to also trade the 1 hour. Because if you just look at the 1 hour every hour for just a second and you see, oh, it's valid, you place your trade and it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And you move on with your day and just check the next hour for 1 second, you know? But yeah, it does get, of course, it gets more time consuming the lower time frames you go. But it's still not very as much time consuming as regular 1 hour or 15 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever stress. If that makes sense. I'm going to the toilet, by the way. 1 sec. Right, I'm back. All right. Okay. I'm interested in in a second. We're gonna be altering sort of the stop losses and the TPs, and we can do a little bit of testing on how it would have performed if we were, so to speak, had a tighter stop loss or a bigger RR. So that's gonna be nice. So this one also qualifies. That's perfect, isn't it? That is great. Exactly how we like it. Okay. Let's just move this thing up. How's our usdjpy trade going? Sort of rejecting the rejection in a way. That's nice. Okay. So far so good. Don't really like this rejection, but let's give it one more candle. Okay, we're tapped in. Yeah, I understand. And you're probably meaning the I don't know if I'm drawing. No, I'm drawing this wrong. So yeah, the 0.68 is the one lower, right? So you have a higher RR, right? Another dub. I mean, why can't we fucking... Oh, I shouldn't curse. Why can't we have days like this right now? Like, what's going on in the market? I only did a month of testing though. Yeah, but that's still nice. Like, I was thinking maybe it's possible to make sort of a golden zone uh, where you add the... Let me turn this one around, by the way. Like, people talk about the golden zone or something with the fib level. Could make like... Can't you make like the background or something? Can't you make it specific? Yeah, I don't know, it doesn't really matter. But anyway, like, I did the wrong one again. Like in between this, for instance, that you could at some point add whenever there's like a candle rejection inside this area or something, you'll go for it or whatever. But I usually like the rejection candle after a big move, after the big moves, because it shows me that the price wants to retrace to fill the imbalance and continue the trend. Yeah. Yeah, likewise. So this one, right? You mean? Or like this one, yeah. Rejection. My some of my best trades were with like a doji right after a bullish candle, like a really strong candle, because then it's like very often it just instantly went down after it. Very tight stop loss. I've had like a lot of 10 RRs for those sort of trades. Okay, but let's just continue with the strat as is, and we can sort of fine tune it in a little bit. This one, for instance, I think is too strong to still consider this one being valid. And also, I think this one is not strong enough compared to this one to actually look for an entry on it. Thoughts? Thank you for whoever just subscribed. I can't really see it, I think, but thank you. So what are your thoughts on valid, but you can try just for the sake of it? Yeah, true. You still go for the big one personally, but I don't know. Okay, so let me remove this because it's annoying me. For experiment's sake, we're gonna try for both, see what happens, right? So this would be one, and the other one would be one. Let's see what hits. Okay, so I think, yeah, okay, so this one, we're in it now. Okay, so the first one would hit. So the second one wouldn't be validated anymore because we're already sort of gone, right? So, as in this one still was strong enough if we just take this small little example. I would have thought it would potentially test it here because, yeah, there's just nice little fair value gap action going on here. So I would imagine the 50% level going on. Also like nice liquidity that got taken here. I'm not 100% familiar with the terms with the like that style of trading. I just know it a little bit, so sorry if I don't say everything correctly. I kind of understand what's going on with that terminology and stuff, but I haven't really traded it myself. So yeah, I think we all agreed that we do like this candle, right? So we're currently in this backtest winning, like back to like I shouldn't jinx it, but it's going pretty well, isn't it? All 1 to 2 as well. So I mean that stacks up at 1.2. Sorry. And exactly, I jinxed it. But these are the candles I probably, well, we can still have this one, by the way. Like as if we didn't do this one and didn't do this one. Did it hit? I don't think so yet. Oh, that would be annoying if it hits like TP right now. So yeah, okay, we count this as a loss. There are so many things going on right now. Okay, so this one also worth testing. I like the break of structure. I sort of like this candle. I backtested this with 1 RR this year, and January made 10 RR, but then lost 2 RR. It's strange. Yeah, I don't like. I think market conditions probably affect the strategy a little bit. I think probably like trending markets are just really good for this strategy. Maybe February wasn't as trendy and a little bit more consolidation. I'm not sure. Yeah, so this would be a loss, and also this one would be a loss. Oh no, never mind. This wouldn't be a loss. It just wouldn't be tapped in, and this one would have been a loss, the original one. Okay, so good to know. In this specific example, the biggest sort of candle wasn't sort of respected um, in this example. Um, okay, so we didn't enter here. So then this one becomes the new. Yeah, I also think with a lot of strategies, you will have some negative months potentially. But as long as overall the good months compensate for the bad ones, you're still fine, right? Okay, so we're tapped in and we're tapped out. Nice. I don't, well, okay, let me know your thoughts. I wouldn't consider this one just because it's like, I don't know, this wick, it isn't closed under the wick, so don't really see it as an engulfing strong candle, but it is a strong candle. To be honest, it did reject this area. I probably think it's worth testing, but overall my thoughts right now are moi, not really. You? Me neither, I wouldn't enter. Okay, so just for testing sake, see what happens. We're not gonna enter, so we're not gonna count it as sort of our profits situation, but okay, so you don't like it either, so it's just for testing sake, see what happens. Okay, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway. This one, same for me, you guys. By the way, it's way too close to the 0.5 level. But I don't know, let me know what you guys think. Yeah, too big of a wick. I agree. I'll be 50-50 on that one, to be fair. Okay. Let's see what happens. Because you're likely gonna get tapped in. The chance of being tapped in is massive. Let's see what happens. Yeah, it would still be a win. But as we can see, it's not, you know, it was very close. I think the markets also didn't consider this super strong. But yeah, still a win. All right. A lot of wicks going on, so I expect the markets to go up in a second. And I'm completely just wrong, I guess. What's going on? This evening or something? No, it was probably waiting for news, or, I guess, because a lot of news is during this time. But yeah, I didn't expect this candle. But yeah, you live and you learn, huh? So I think we all agree this candle is nice. A little bit above 1 to 2, 1.2. Like chances of getting tapped in with these sort of candles, I find to be fairly low. Here I would still be sort of interested in the same setup. Let's see. Okay, rejection candle. I would still sort of be interested. I guess still. Right now, I think I would take it away. You guys, same? And I would probably go for this candle. Okay. Going for this candle as well or not? The wick is a little bit big, but I think it's good enough. All right. Yeah, I wouldn't because it doesn't cover the wick. Yeah, that's my sort of my hesitation on it as well. Didn't close under the wick, but I think like obviously I don't know how it would pan out if you do this 100 times. I think this would be profitable if you do it 100 times, but it would just be a lot stronger if it did close under the wick. I agree. So I guess this is a little bit whenever you're going to be conservative, if you don't want to, you know, yeah, if you don't want to take the risk, basically. I don't know what necessarily the results are going to be. Yeah, that is what can happen because, yeah, I do agree with Aruba in a way that this sort of, you can see it as a rejection because it's tried to close under, failed. So it's sort of this candlestick being bearish, but also with a bullish touch on it. Like all this candle is just bearish, you know. This candle is just bearish, but this candle in the context of this candle is not fully bearish. All right, see you in a bit, bro. All right. Okay, so we took an L there, but it's a lesson, like nice little, good to look back on. This candle, I do sort of like it because it closed under the wick, but it didn't close under the structure. So it's not, you know, it could also be stronger. If it closed under here, would be really nice. I don't know. This one is, yeah, bro. Aren't you in it yet? Yeah, we have a nice little small community growing. Let me send you the invite. Do, 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 do. I remember you from the comments, but I didn't know you weren't in the Discord server yet. But yeah, happy to happy to have you. Yeah, there you are. Another guy joined. Nice, welcome. All right. So what would you do on this candle? I don't like it for the reason not being closed under the structure. I don't like it for the reason of this wick being here. So chances of it being filled are there. I do like it for it closing under this wick and for it closing so bearish. So it's a little bit of yeah. Again, this is similar to the one previous. They're just not as strong. So should we ignore the ones that aren't as strong? Probably, right? But for testing sake, we will just, I guess, enter it, and afterwards we can go over all the sort of trades and just look what sort of went well, what went wrong. See if we can sort of learn from it. Yeah, I think there's a pretty big chance this isn't a good trade, but it ends up hitting TP. So yeah, can't really argue with that. This one, too many wicks, I feel like. This one, too big of a wick. This one, too big of a wick. Crazy stuff going on, by the way. What is this? This is 800s. This is literally a 2k pip move. 2k pip, like both of those cover 2k pips, or like 200 pips if you regular pips, or 2k micro pips. Like, what's going on here? In 4 hours. Over 2k. Crazy. Okay. I was about to say, in this candle, for instance, it's already happened, so I sound like someone with hindsight, you know. But I was about to say, with this sort of such a big move, you can even probably do it like this. Oh, I didn't tap in, but you can probably do it like this, because the move itself on this Fibonacci retracement is already like 500 pips big. But yeah, that's we haven't tried that yet enough to sort of. Um, 1 sec, I need to, I got called, I need to respond for a sec. All right. Okay. I'm back. Let's see. I see you joined, by the way. Nice. Welcome, bro. All right. So let's continue. Okay. Nice little engulfing, but the overall trend's bearish, so I'm a little bit on the fence. By the way, how's our trade going? Are you funded or low? Well, I always like to be transparent, And I'm actually for the first time in 1.5 years or something, no longer funded. Uh, yeah, like I said, my trading just has been poor, basically. I do know I have the knowledge and but the execution part has just been lacking. I've been just not to have too many excuses, but I've just been tired very often. And I thought, like, at first, trading was not to be cocky or anything, but trading was fairly easy for me. I always traded with like my gut feeling most of the time. I was getting consistent payouts, consistent funded accounts. Like I very often had whenever sort of a payout or like an account got denied, I instantly like the same day I would just look for a trade and I instantly passed another account or got another payout, and like it was just really sort of becoming sort of fairly easy for me at some point. Um, and then I started trying to scale up, and then Trump markets hit, so the markets were very weird a while, so that really hurt my sort of trading as well. Looking back in hindsight, I traded the same way, but the market conditions were just very, very different. And then it started picking up again, started going well. I sort of got used to the conditions, but then I got the baby, and it had like a lot more impact than I figured. So, um, yeah, I currently I'm not funded for the first time. I'm even like it's so weird to, but yeah, that's why I'm currently doing the strat and like I at first I was making sort of easy strategies for my community, right? Like I was building an indicator and sort of all that sort of stuff, mostly for my community because I knew sort of my own trading style, like whatever I did was working, and I didn't necessarily need anything else or like any solid strategy or whatever because I was just trading on what I saw, right? This GBP USD one is an example of it. I didn't take this trade. I just saw this morning, but fine. Like I'm just happy to see a trade actually working, like whatever, like my analysis, right? Like I'm an area of interest trader by heart. You see this area of interest pretty strong on the 4 hour, and I just noticed a rejection from it. And yeah, I've been trading this sort of style before, even with tighter stop loss, a lot of 3R, 4R, 5R trades and stuff. Um, so I used to risk like 2% on a trade on a funded or on a challenge account, get a 4R trade and just pass an account instantly. That was like what I like. It was going very, very fast, very well for quite a while. But then, like right now, I just really needed something to execute. Basically, I just needed rules, and I've been fighting it for a few months now. My ego in the way, thinking, oh, but trading has been easy for me, why do I need to change, whatever. Um, but yeah, lately I've just been getting a little bit humbled by the market, which is completely fine, and I like things being hard, so I like trading being hard again in a way. Um, so now I have built a strategy and I'm just gonna follow it and gonna make it better over time, basically. But right now, in my condition, with being constantly freaking tired and just my brain not working as well, and especially my mental, like I can't really taking a loss like hurts my mental now, and before it didn't really hurt my mental. So um, yeah, just a lot of self, looking into the mirror and just realizing that sort of stuff. Um, yeah, basically just getting humbled. And now I'm gonna execute on sort of the strategy that I built originally for my community. Basically, the strategies for my community, but now I'm gonna use them as well. Um, Trading was very good for me suddenly when Trump's trade. Yeah, bro, exactly. It wasn't just me, like my sort of the guy that I learned from most, he also was losing trades left, right, and center. So I know it wasn't just me, but I couldn't really take the losses as good because I don't like at least the last few months I just couldn't been taking the losses as good just because of my mental, just of being tired and stuff. Um, so yeah, but thanks for understanding. I know I'm not alone in, the market condition being weird and all that sort of stuff, but yeah, it's been a little bit difficult, not gonna lie. Like it's even, you know, I used to live pretty much off trading and was saving up money every month and every, you know, with trading. But right now I have to, or had to, go back to sort of a part-time hustle thing, or like a part-time job that I was doing just so I could pay the bills basically. Before I was just like, you know, saving up money and paying and basically living off trading like fairly easily. But yeah, that's sort of, you know, that's just not the case right now. And but I know if I'm gonna, you know, at the end of this year, I just know I'm gonna look back at like a profitable and positive year. So I'm, you know, in the bigger picture, I'm completely fine. I don't mind having a hurdle. I just see this as sort of a higher low, basically, in like a trend, a bullish trend, basically. So yeah, long story short, or short story long, I should say. But yeah, I just like, I like to have built like a small community now where I just meet a lot of nice people and stuff, and yeah, yeah. Every time I backtest a strategy into that, it always goes so well compared to now. Yeah, I imagine, bro. The marks are just, it's there's just a lot of stuff going on, isn't it? Like, of course, the market's not gonna be like the same. Um, and so that's like the good part is that we know, like basically we're just accumulating knowledge, right, and accumulating skill that potentially not at this very moment will pay out the best it can, but in the near future it will, like, all this knowledge and all this skill and all these sort of, also all the losses will have built up a tolerance for our mental and stuff, so we can really accelerate whenever the marks actually gets easier, if that makes sense. So this is just a little bit of a hurdle, but it will make us a better trader overall. And but I just needed a strategy that suits these markets, or like as simple, and it's just, you know, just, I guess, works in pretty much every condition. And yeah, I think a lot of strategies don't work in these markets, and I think this strategy is just so basic, so sort of, um, how do you say it, like so short-term trend based that, yeah, I think it's still working now, but not the last few days with these, like, there, of course, there are, how do you say it, like, there are limits to it with all this freaking news and all the oil situation. I mean, the market's just going crazy. Like, how is it even going with like the, I'm actually like in a very long-term trade, like a long position on the DE40. Um, if it goes back to, it needs to go all the way back to here, like very, very far away now. It was fairly close, but if it goes back to here, I can collect about, probably right now, like two and a half, 3K or something, if it goes back to here. Um, so I have my fingers crossed for that, because that would give me a little bit of breathing room, you know. But let's see what ends up happening. Um, I tried swing trading too, but it's just stressful for me because I have to wait so much for an entry, and I feel like markets owe me something. Do you swing trade also? My bread and butter is pretty much swing trading, to be honest. Um, but not very long swing trades, just, you know, a few days max. Um, those are my, probably my bread and butter, where it just makes sense on the daily and weekly time frame. Um, um, let's see if I can showcase a little bit. Well, I'm really happy that I finally have sort of a recent trade that actually worked. Um, like, for me, I would go on the daily time frame. Maybe I can. Well, there's so many drawings here. Okay. The eyes closed, blah blah. I would go sort of on the And the markets owe you something. Yeah, I understand the feeling. But it just doesn't work that way. But I have similar feeling. It's just weird how that works. So here, for instance, you see this level. It's pretty strong on the daily. It's not super strong, but you can see test goes down all the way. Test goes down. Test goes down. Test goes down. Breaks above. Test goes up. This one doesn't really get respected, you know. Doesn't really get respected here either, but breaks above, tests, goes up. So very likely, whenever it sort of reaches it, you would have a high chance of it actually bouncing, but it didn't. So then the next time it reaches it, you actually have a high chance of it actually going down. Oh, it's already spoiled, but um, that's sort of my bread and butter, where I really like areas of interest in combination with the 50 EMA. So I would be fairly confident, for instance, whenever I see this daily candle, you know, whenever I saw this one closing bearish, like under it. Um, so can I go back? Like here, I would be, I would probably be entering off this candle, to be honest, not even waiting for the I just like sort of doji-ish candles where I would be comfortable with entering like this. Of course, we have hindsight, you know, blah blah blah, but just trust me on this. I would trade like this, and then I would go for 3 Rs or whatever. And whenever I was in, I would say prime or whatever, I would have like tighter stop losses where I would just trade it like this, or I would even go in the 1 hour, and if there's like a doji there or whatever, I would potentially, you know. But right now, I would be more comfortable in trading like this and then targeting sort of the lows here. So I would go for not necessarily all the way, but just like around 80-ish% or something. So like this, around here or something. And yeah, this would be a trade I would take, basically. I don't know what happens at this point. Yeah. So these are trades in my regular sort of style. So yeah, you could consider this swing trading because it's Thursday all the way to Thursday. It's a week. So yeah, um, I'm guessing this is swing trading. But yeah, I do like this trading style, and I'm definitely gonna be trading this trading style in the future. But like I said, not in this mental and yeah, not in this headspace right now. I'm just too tired to sort of trade any harder trading style. What I do notice is a nice little, I don't know if you notice it as well, but yeah, I do notice a nice little trade for us. This would be a nice little win. But yeah, this would have been a loss, so that kind of compensates it. Um, but yeah, that's my my trading style regularly. This is how I've made like a lot of payouts and stuff and a lot of funded accounts. But yeah, I'm guessing in these market conditions it's just not working anymore. So I kind of need to throw the towel in the ring, considering that strat, and just focusing on keeping it easy, breezy, and just chilling with this strategy. Um, yeah, that's where we're at right now, if that makes sense. Um, so let's do a few more tests, shall we? This one I'm not 100% sure because you know it didn't close above. It's very bearish structure. But for testing sake, I think it's good enough to sort of test. It also, did it close above the wick? Yes, it did, so that's good. Let's see. Okay, I would take it away now. This one would have been a winner, but yeah, I think it's too weak, right, to have looked for it. What is sort of your trading style that you used to do? Did you do the Malaysian SNR or was that someone else? It might have been someone else. I think this one is strong enough. Okay, so we're tapped in right now. And we're tapped out. Would you consider this one? Probably, right? I just don't like it for the reason it's sort of being a bullish trend right now, like changing to bullish. All right. Sounds like you've done a fair bit of different strategies. How long have you been trading? Start of summer. Oh, so not so long. All right. Okay, so you've like fair to say you've done a little bit of strategy hopping, I think, right? It's good that you've got like knowledge from different aspects of trading, but there's like a knowledge overload, um, information overload on every subject, but trading for sure. So it's like it's, yeah, it's easy to get sort of lost in all the different strategies, and then you see, oh, this one makes so much RR, and you know, and I've been there as well. I imagine it being difficult for well, I know it's difficult to start trading and just don't really know what to, you know, what to focus on. Um, but yeah, this one should have been should have retaken it. Okay. I think I might add like a confluence of, you know, the trend. ECW. See if we can do it again. Not sure if we should go for 1 to 2 here, but damn. Uh, yes, a lot of information, but my psychology is at a beginner level. All right. Then I think this strategy will suit you very well because the win rate's a lot higher to regular strategies. So you can sort of build up a tolerance to losses. And then eventually, if you want to, you could sort of go for higher RR strategies that have a lower win rate most of the time. But yeah, I think having a higher win rate really makes it easier to sort of makes trading easier. Usually right now is crazy consolidation. You can see it by looking at the 5-minute charts. Yeah, it's fighting. Yeah. I just see this as sort of fighting. Like often like the third candle often is a decider for me. For instance here, 1, 2, and then the third one goes up, 1, 2, and then the third one could go up. Yeah, it's often with 1 as well, but whenever there are like 3 candles in a row, like here as well, 1, 2 goes down, 1, 2 goes down, you know, 1, 2 goes up, 1 goes up, you know, it's just very often to me that like 2 candles um are a regular sort of retracement, and then if it continues with 3, then you really have like a trend going on, like 1, 2, 3. Okay, well these ones are 3 as well, but not really strong. Welcome back, buddy. Our usdjpy one is going fairly well. You've missed a lot. No, you've missed some tests, a fair few. Um, and yeah, I've been chatting about sort of different stuff. So I think we've got to the point that we've got enough tests right now, so we can go back and see what's having sort of a tighter RR would do, or tighter stop loss or whatever, or like higher risk reward. Yeah, it's looking a bit better, but we really need the, like what I just explained to Dits, is that 2 candles is often doesn't really mean anything, because often 2 candles equal the third one being like engulfing them, or like being a strong one in the real trend, or 1 candle, often 1 candle, like often 1 candle doesn't really mean anything, 1 or 2, like 1, 2, and then goes down, 1, 2 goes down, like, and then you have it here as well. Like 1 candle doesn't really mean anything, goes down. And then 3 candles, okay, we're having like a trend forming, right? And then, I don't know, in my opinion, just often 2 candles isn't really, yeah. It's just a regular retracement, basically. Um, that's just what I've noticed. Especially like in a 4-hour candle, it's basically sort of the first 2, or yeah, the first 2 candles, and then the third candle becomes like a rejection candle, and then the fourth candle sort of becomes like a massive candle. But I think we're fairly close to, you know, the EMA actually being respected. We have half an hour left. If it were to speak close like this, we really want price to break under here fairly fast, because it can also fill the wick. But if it goes under here fairly fast, within like 1 hour, I'm fairly confident we will see a win. Also, closing under this structure would be massive. I don't think it will happen this hour, but you see the price sort of slowing down, which is not like a really amazing sign, but um, yeah, for me this kind of looks like it just wants to create like a, it's creating a lower or higher low, so to speak. But let's hope it's just doing this, and then if it does this, then I'm very happy. Yeah, New York, yeah. It's New York at 2 for my time. I thought New York was at 2. Or like what I've noticed, the volume spike is most of the time at 2 for me. Sometimes even 3. Like so in half an hour / 1 hour. All right. Okay, so what shall we do? Shall we go over sort of the testing results, see what, well, this one didn't hit, so that sucks. Where shall I note it down? Okay, so let's get a nice little spreadsheet action going on. Okay. Something like this is fine. How many trades did we take? I think it started here. Let's go back to the chart. If the current 4-hour candle closed bullish on usdjpy, I will take a long impulsive as it's already below 50%. If the current 4-hour candle closed bullish on usdjpy, New York 12 for you, I think. All right. I don't really understand which one you... Are you sure it's usdjpy? Or you would enter on this same candle, like you would enter if it closes like bullish, like if it closed a little bit stronger, you would enter because already below the 0.5 level, and then you would enter for, yeah? Impulsive entries, alright. But, alright. So, I haven't traded that before myself, but yeah, you can try. I mean, you have a higher risk reward ratio, so that's like a positive. Like if it were to speak, but what would you consider bullish? Like, is this bullish? Is this bullish? Is this bullish? Like, if this is considered bullish, then your risk reward ratio would be 1 to 2 as well. 1.2. I haven't, yeah, I have no real information on that. I don't know what really works better. I haven't traded that myself. So okay, let's note down wins, losses. So, and it's all 1 to 2. let's do 1.2. So we have 1 win, 2 wins. This one was a loss. Win. This one was a loss, I think. Annoying that you have to. I hate it when it sort of jumps. That makes sense. But yeah, I don't like impulsive entries work better. But so you mean whenever price is still under the 50% level and then you enter when it's already like sort of whenever it's instantly triggered or something. Let me yeah, explain a little bit if you want, but yeah, a little bit about your strategy. Okay, so I count this as a loss. I think this is a loss. So we have a win and a loss. So we have 4, 3. We have a win. We have 1 win, 2 wins, 3 wins, 4 wins, 5 wins, 6 wins. So 6 wins, 10 wins. And then 1 loss here. Another win here. This is a loss. Win. So we have 1 loss. 12 wins. Then we have this one is a win, I think. Did it tap it before? I think so. It shows with this little thing. So yeah, it's a win, then another win, and then another loss. So 14 wins. Oh, 6 losses, because there's 1 more loss here. Okay, so we took 20 trades, 14 wins, 6 losses. Yeah, I would definitely take, that would be really nice with the 1.2. So how much would that equate to? Can I do like this? Yes. 16R minus 6. So you have 10.8R. Maybe I do it like this. Then I don't want to make it too big, but okay. Okay, so on this and then minus. All right. So that's good. We have 10.8 RR. So now we can sort of, it's still a small sample size. It's only 20 trades. But we can see what happens when we sort of where are we? Where do we start? Here? Okay. We can start with sort of lowering the what's it called? The stop loss for instance, at like 2. So like 2 RR, 1.2 thing. So let's see what that does. RR2. So stop loss will be a little bit tighter. So it will be 1 win. Well, it's 2 wins. I'm just gonna set them back as soon as I've checked. So 2 wins. This one is a loss anyway. So we have 2 wins, 1 loss. This would be a win. So we have 3 wins. Okay. I think this one was a loss anyway, so it's 2. This one is a win with a higher stop loss, so it's 4. This one is a loss. So we have 4 wins, 3 losses. Another win, so we have 5 wins. I think this one also. Yeah. 6 wins. 7 wins. 8, 9. This one will get stopped out, so let's do 9. And then, well, does it? I'm unsure. Did it get tapped in at the first one or not? Monday, 2nd of December. You guys get what I'm doing, right? Yeah, okay, so it's a loss. Monday, 2nd of December would mean a loss. Did I already count it? Probably not. So, oh, this 1, 2, 3. It didn't get hit though. I think, yeah, let's just count this as a loss, shall we? It's like with spread and everything, you would get stopped out. So that's the first win that actually becomes a loss with hiring to 2. So 4, okay. So then we have this one that was a loss anyway, so that's 5. Then we have this one, 2, easy win. 10. This one is a loss anyway. 6. I think this might get stopped out. No. So that is another win. I think, okay, 9th of September. Okay, loss. Mm. Two. Win. And this one was a loss. Okay, so we end up with 12. So we do is 2 times 2 minus 8. 16 RR instead of 10.8. Of course, a small sample size, but it's interesting for sure. It's like a pretty big difference. Hmm. 16 RR out of 20 trades. It's not too bad. Thoughts? It's a small sample size though, but I mean, as we've already seen, very often price just doesn't really retrace too far into the area before it goes down. So I think like tightening the stop loss makes more sense than hiring the sort of the TP. Okay, so now wait, I need to specify this. RR hiring or tightening SL with TP still at 1.2 area. Okay. So what we could do now is we could see if what happens if we actually hire the take profit. But I think these results will be worse than what we just did. And we can also try a combination. We can also do a combination. So let's see. So yeah, because in my backtesting I was trying to get bigger RR by making TP higher, not reducing the SL. Yeah, I understand. I think reducing the SL is better for this thread. But we could do a combination. I don't really see the point in only hiring. I think what might be good is hiring the TP to 1.5 and then tightening the stop loss to where it is 3RR. I think that would be best. Not just doing the TP to 2 or whatever. I don't really see the... You've already tested that basically, so that doesn't really make sense to test anyway. So I think what would be good to test right now is... let's see. First, do the TP at 1.5. Just a little bit. And then tightening the stop loss to where it is 3R. If that makes sense. Then the TP is a little bit bigger, but it's not too big. But we could also test just tightening the stop loss even a little bit further. That's also possible. Shall we first go down that route? Just tightening the stop loss a little bit further. Alright, let's first do that, maybe. Okay, let's first tighten the stop loss to, let's so to speak, let's go for 3, shall we? 2.5, we'll notice during the results if 2.5 would have been better anyway. So let's just test 3. So okay, so this would be a win. So we would have 1. This is a win as well. This one hit it. So then we have this one. This was a loss anyway, so this one stays a loss. This one will probably become a loss right now. With 2, this was good. With 3, it becomes a loss. So 2 with 2.5. We can still do 2. We can do them together, by the way. So these two would be the same with the 2, and then with 2.5, and then with the 3R, this would be, did I already take it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah, I think I already took, okay, so 2. 1 win, 2 wins, 3 wins. Okay, so with 2R it's 3 wins, 1 loss, and with 3R it's 2 wins, 2 losses. Okay. Back to the 1.2. Okay. This one was a loss anyway. So 2, 3. This one is a win, and it's also a win. This is a win on both. So 4, 3. This one is a loss on both. 3, 4. This one is, yeah, it's a win. It's a win on both, so it's 5, 4. This one probably, yeah, with 3 I think it gets tapped out. Zoom in a little bit. Yeah, with 3 it will get stopped out. With 2.5, yeah, we can call it kind of safe. It's very close though, but okay, so 6 and then 5 losses for 3. E 1.2. Okay, here we also will have some losses, I think. Yeah. So this one would be also become a loss on both. Yeah. 4, 6. Then this one would be a win on both. 5, 7. This would be a win on both. 8, 6. This would be probably be a loss. Yeah, this would be a loss. Okay, so a loss on both. 5, 7. This is a loss on both. I'm guessing this is super fun content, isn't it? But yeah, it's interesting to check. 2.5 would be profitable. 3 would. Oh. also be profitable. So 9, 7. This one is a loss. 7, 9. This one is a win on both, I think. Or maybe not. 3 is pretty tight, to be honest. Well, it doesn't hit here again, so. 10, 8. Yeah, exactly. I can't remember if this was a win or not. Monday the 9th. My brain is getting a little bit fried. No, it's a loss. Monday the 9th. So this one is a loss on both. 8, 10. And then this one. It would be a win on the 2.5 and a loss on the 3. No, this is not a win. 11. And then we have this one. This was a loss anyway. 12, 9. All right. So I thought it would be automatic. Why not? 13. Is this correct? No, that's not correct. Okay. Is oh, it's times 2. Yeah. Okay. So this times 2.5 minus 9. Okay. Is this times 3 minus 12. Yeah, because this is 24. Okay. Interesting. Exactly on email, really? Oh shit. Well, holy shit. Well, if we're gonna be nitpicky, it might have closed above on, well, on this chart, but we would have liked it to be a little bit lower, but yeah, it sort of respects the EMA, so I think we might have a bearish move now, but yeah. All right. Crazy. It's no coincidence. All right, so this is just like tightening the stop loss. And then we can do a combination. All right. One more time. One more time. Okay. So we can do a combination where we would first lower this to, well, we already know what sort of works in a way. The 2.5 is still fairly good. Like you only miss 3 trades by going 2.5. So if you would go for a stop loss that is like near the 2.5 area, like here, I don't know where it's at when you look at the Fibonacci retracement. It's like 75. Is it? Is there one? No. Can I add my own? Wait, let me set this up correctly. Wait, am I going crazy? Why is this here? Oh, minus 0.8. I want to make my own. Can I make my own? I think I can make my own. I don't care about this level. Can I? No, really? On my own level. I'm not allowed to make my own levels. Or, or do I first need to? Yeah, okay. 0.8. Okay, it's very close to 0.8. Okay. So the stop loss would be the same as 0.77 level. I don't know why I'm doing this, but it's just my sort of weird brain thinking this would be good. It makes sense. So you would have the stop loss placed at 0.77. And then your TP, you could hire it to 3. Is that like the 1.5 or something? Oh no, it's of course the other way around. So it's the minus 0.3 or something. Very close. Okay. Does this make sense so far? I'm going to the toilet again. One sec. Okay. Um, okay, I think this is okay. So basically what it means is this becomes 2.5. One sec. 1.2. This is what we had regularly, and then sort of lower the... No, it's not accurate. Okay, so it's... This makes sense. Okay. So you basically place it on halfway point. This would make sense. Okay, so... Okay. And then this would... It's a little bit far. I'm just fine-tuning sort of my Fibonacci retracement tool so I can just set it up and know where my TP and sort of my stop loss should be, if I were, so to speak, like it. Don't necessarily... I'm going down a little bit of a rabbit hole right now. I do notice that. Okay, so let's see how this would go. Basically, I wanna test this. So SL 0.75, TP minus 0.382. And I also want to test one where it's just near the 1. How that would be 2 risk reward. Okay, so I want to test 2. This is 3.5 R. Or at 0, sorry. You still following me a little bit? I'm a little bit going crazy right now. What's our trade doing? Uh-oh. Okay. Focus on something I can control right now. Okay, so 0.75. Okay. So here are our 2, our 3.5. Okay, so in this situation, it would have won both. So 1, 1. I hope it saves, by the way. Yeah. Okay, it would have won both. That's good. This one is a loser on both. It's based off this candle, I believe. So oof, takes a while, but it hits on both. This was a loser on both. This is, I think, a winner, but I'm not sure if it will hit the TP. Yes, it hits the TP on both. Loser on both. I think this becomes a loser. Do I draw it from here? Yeah. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. Very close. It's a winner on the 2. And it's barely... Well, wait. Yeah, it's a loser on the 3. Okay. But I'm guessing, to be honest, you would probably hire stop loss around here. I mean, it's so freaking close. But yeah, that's just for stats sake, we count it as a loss, shall we? Very close. But yeah, we do count this as a win. No, it's a lose. Okay. Very close, but part of the game. Win on both. Yeah. Where do we enter off? This one? Okay. Am I live still? What's going on? Hello, hello? Yeah, okay. Sort of giving errors. Alright. Okay, where were we? Here? No, I think it's actually a win on both. Yeah, it's a win. Alright, nice. 8, and then this one is a loser on both. This one is hopefully a win. Yeah, it's a win. This one is a loss. This is a win on both fairly clearly. And this is a win on both as well. Wrong side. win on the 2 and a lose on the other. And then the last one is a loss on both. Okay, I think this is interesting. Times 2 minus 7. 19, our best result so far. Barely, but 11 times 3.5, which is a crazy RR, of course, minus 9. I think this will be the best by far. Yeah. 29.5 RR. Thoughts? Oh, bro, my brain is getting cooked right now. Share me your thoughts, bro. I'll just lay back for a second. Hey. Yeah, basically I've been playing around with different stuff. I think you could be onto something with that. All right. That's good to hear. Basically, what I've been playing around with is starting with the idea of a tighter stop loss probably equaling to more RR. And I think we see it in pretty much all scenarios except going for 3RR. That was just a little bit too tight. But the 2 and the 2.5 RR, just by simply tightening the stop loss on the original sort of plan, equaling to higher return on investment. Because most of the time what we just noticed is that there's not a lot of drawdown on the trades on average. A lot of times what you can see here is quick W. Well, this was a bad loss, but fairly quick W, loss, fairly quick W, win, like barely touched it, win. Also, like you have like a lot of room on the stop loss. Like on this one, you could have had like a 15 RR, but just, the stop loss makes no sense, way too tight. But you get what I mean. You have like so much room to play around with stop loss on a lot of trades. So like this was basically me testing how tight can the stop loss be without losing a lot of the trades, without getting wigged out, basically. So we did that. Yeah, the TP stays the same at the 1.2. That was this test, the top one. But then I looked into also doing a combination of a higher TP in combination with a tighter stop loss. And I came up with the Fibonacci retracement that suits it fairly well. It's this one. This was one of the trades that got barely stopped out, but let's just get a nice example, because we don't really want the example that's actually the one that's not a good one. But let's go for this one. So you place your Fibonacci retracement, similar, 0, 1, and you have your stop loss at the 0.75, so basically halfway in between. So a nice little level. You have the 0. Like if we do the full Fibonacci, this is a level that's very well respected, right? The 0.618. So you have this in your favor as sort of a resistance as well. So it makes sense to having that one like a little bit above your TP or above your stop loss. So we have the 0.75. So you would place your stop loss like this. And your TP, you wouldn't place it at the 0 level. You would place it at the 0.38, which would equal to a 3.5 0.5 RR pretty much. And yeah, that's basically it. If that makes sense. Dits, do you have any time on your hands to test it a little bit in your program, just to sort of validate if it's actually correct? Or if you don't, I'll try to test it a little bit as well. But you know me in testing, I don't have the program. Program is pretty nice because it just, you can okay, perfect. Thank you. Appreciate you like always. Thank you. Do you need the settings of the Fibonacci? All right. So you add basically these are the settings. You have the 0 level, the 0.5 and the 1, similar to what you had. And you add the 0.75 as your stop loss target, and your minus 0.3821 as your TP. I'm actually gonna color it so it's, it's clear that that's like, well, I don't like red, never mind. I think blue is a little bit cleaner. Maybe dark red or something. I don't know, I don't like it. Because let's be real, it could be a fluke. We have a small sample size right now. But to be honest, I would be surprised if this isn't more profitable than going for the regular 1.2 or the 1RR. I would be surprised, but but also potentially just going for 2RR with the 0.75 stop. I'm fairly confident in the stop loss, so to speak. But the TP, I'm yeah, not as confident in it, but I think it's overall pretty good. Maybe it would be better at you can hire TPs, right? Yeah, I think you can hire in your program, you can hire TPs, so that's good. So you can, I think I'm fairly confident in stop loss. So with your data, we can sort of determine what's the best TP placement. Correct? All right, perfect, perfect, perfect. That's good because I think the stop loss would make a lot of sense around this new area. But I'm keen on what the data will say. Perfect, amazing. That's great. Curious if it will actually land around the area that I sort of have right now. But yeah, let's have the data lead us, shall we? $29.5 out of, it's still a positive win rate with a 3.5 RR. It's like it's still 12 to 8, so it's still like 66% win rate or something. Oh wait, wait, what am I saying? 11 to 9. No, it's still like 60% win rate or something right now. But it's very small sample size, so can't really speak to it too much. But yeah. Perfect, bro. Amazing. Um, yeah, amazing, bro. I really appreciate you you doing the testing and stuff. I've always, with everything in life, I really like to come up with solutions and sort of come up with ideas and sort of, the creative sort of side. But the testing, so to speak, also with like college and stuff. How I basically went through college, we would get like a problem from a company, and I would fairly fast just know sort of how to solve the problem basically. And I would basically just write it out on like one piece of paper, multiple options for solving the problem, but most of the time it's just like one, and then how they needed to sort of why it's the solution basically. But then people in my sort of group would really do the research behind it and really validate sort of the the solution. But it was really like a win-win because they struggled with finding the solution, or like, and I'm not saying any of you guys don't can find a solution or whatever, but it's just my expertise is just sort of, you know, coming up with ideas and finding solutions, but not necessarily doing the testing or like the validating of it. I don't know, like my brain is fried right now with just sort of coming up with a solution, if you get what I mean, so I really really do appreciate you for complimenting me, being complimentary basically to my sort of skill, where you are really good at testing. And yeah, I'm just appreciative, just so you know. Really, I very appreciative. Thank you. Glad we appreciate each other, bro. That's a good that's a good thing. Ugh. All right, but my girlfriend just called, and I think I'm gonna pick her up. And I had a nice little streaming session. We've learned a lot. It was fun, and so yeah, yeah. Let's just continue making it better together, and let's see if we can make some real money, shall we? It's the plan to oh, let's get you a payout. We can meet up, do some coffee, have some fun, and I'll get myself funded again as well. This is just it's my first time not being funded in like 1.5 years. I'm feeling like what's going on. So let's work out this thread, and let's make some money all together. You as well, Arabu. Let's make some money. Thank you guys so much for being here. Yeah, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate the support as of late, and the activity. And yeah, it's just it's a lot more fun like this. I made like over 100 videos on the channel already, and at first it was just very still, and maybe I would get one comment, and it's been slowly going up. And yeah, it's just been a lot more fun, like live streaming like this. I want to really do like more live streams and stuff, but it's more fun if people are actually, like active and asking questions, and we can learn off each other, bounce off ideas, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, much appreciated, both of you and everyone else who's potentially here. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys, and we talk to each other in the discords and stuff, and I hope you guys have a lovely weekend coming up. I enjoyed it as well, bro. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, peace.